a conspiracy surrounding two of the most iconic movies in film history, and the woman who claims Hollywood stole her ideas for The Matrix and The Terminator. This is the story of Sophia Stewart, self-proclaimed mother of The Matrix and real-life oracle.
Sophia Stewart, the owner and creator of the Matrix and Terminator movie film franchises.
I wrote the first one, the first Matrix. It won 4 Oscars. It's a combination of the Matrix and Terminator together. Warner Brothers offered me $30 million for the shooting script. The Terminator is the prequels or the beginning of the epic story. That's right, with Schwarzenegger. And in fact, he called me about the Terminator. You know what I'm saying? Because he loved it.
Bullshit. 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 Bullshit.
In this video, we'll discuss the claims Stewart makes, dive into the lawsuits she filed against the filmmakers, and uncover the truth once and for all.
For one thing, we're prodigy. And another thing, I'm a visionary seer. The oracle in the Matrix, that's who the That's you. Hello.
To understand, we need to go back to 1983 when Stewart wrote a book, and we'll call it a book for now, entitled The Third Eye, a muddled work of science fiction inspired by a mix of her personal faith and an amalgam of tried and true science fiction tropes. It remained buried for decades.
But all the characters are in the Third Eye Matrix and Terminator book. The third eye, because on Earth we have 2 eyes, but in the universe we have the all-seeing eye of God.
Amazing, amazing.
Today, the self-published story, all 40 pages, is available on Amazon with a description proclaiming, Stewart's epic story created 2 of Hollywood's biggest franchises, The Matrix and Terminator movies series and trilogy. The book reads more like a biblical story and a first contact tale rather than anything resembling the 2 movies in question. More on that later. In her own words, Stewart says, "I'm the kind of master writer that comes once upon this earth."
And I could write anything, any genre, a master writer. If I could hear your story, I could write it.
So why has the book suddenly emerged after 40 years?
I made all of these people super rich.
But do they owe their wealth to Miss Stewart? Who are these people, and how did they become some of the world's greatest filmmakers? Before venturing into filmmaking, the Wachowskis started in the comic book industry, writing for Marvel Comics in the early 90s and working on series like Ecto Kid and Clive Barker's Hellraiser. Their transition from comics to screenwriting and eventually directing showcased their unique storytelling abilities with their first success, Bound, in 1996, a noir thriller about 2 women who schemed to steal from the mob and escape together. Using this momentum, they pitched their passion project entitled The Matrix to Warner Brothers, and the rest is movie history. Before The Terminator, James Cameron worked on a variety of projects, starting in the film industry as a model maker and a special effects designer on low-budget horror movies. He then moved into directing with films like Piranha 2: The Spawning.
The new breed is here. Faster, more ferocious, and infinitely more deadly. Piranha 2.
However, it wasn't until his work on The Terminator that his career as a director and screenwriter truly began.
So I was in Rome and I was sick. I don't know what with some flu-like virus, and had a bit of a fever, and just had a dream. And it was an image that I remembered when I woke up, an image of a kind of chrome skeleton emerging from a fire. In my dream, I knew that all of its outer covering had been burned away by the fire, revealing it as a chrome, what we later termed the endoskeleton.
This haunting vision laid the foundation for the concept of a relentless, futuristic cyborg assassin sent back in time to alter the future. Great. Let's get back to Stewart v. Wachowskis. The author states she sent the Wachowskis her story in 1985 and never heard back, adding that they allegedly had an open call for ideas. They of course denied all such claims. And of course they deny it, because they were 18 and 20 years old when this happened. Remember, they began writing for film in the mid-90s. Meanwhile, she also sent her story to Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox, and having been rejected both times, she begrudgingly moved on, until, upon recognizing her work on screen in a crowded theater, she angrily shouted, "What the f***? Those are my stories." When The Matrix and Terminator premiered, they were instant hits. They revolutionized the landscape of cinema and storytelling. Released in 1984, Cameron's The Terminator hooked audiences with its innovative blend of sci-fi and action, introducing the iconic character of the Terminator portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Its groundbreaking visual effects and intense storyline left an indelible mark on pop culture, setting a new standard for futuristic narratives. Similarly, The Matrix, released in 1999, pushed the boundaries of filmmaking with its mind-bending plot, philosophical themes, and groundbreaking bullet-time visual effects. Both movies were not only box office hits but also became cultural touchstones, influencing countless films, TV shows, and even inspiring advancements in visual effects and storytelling techniques. And for all those reasons, we're still talking about and rewatching them today. Miss Stewart claimed the Matrix and Terminator franchises were without a doubt based on her work, The Third Eye, and sought over $1 billion in damages in her suit, which she filed against the filmmakers and studios. However, in 2005, her case was dismissed, citing insufficient evidence of any such infringement or theft. But wait a minute, were there similarities? And if so, could a case be made in her defense? Let's take a look for ourselves. On Amazon, her book, The Third Eye, selling for $33, is described with the line, "Stewart's epic story created two of Hollywood's biggest franchises, The Matrix and Terminator movie series and trilogy." What's the story about? Well, it's not really a story, but instead an outline for a story. A synopsis reads, "This science fiction is narrative at its beginnings, but later unfolds to show a fictional future of Earth in the 22nd century. By that time, planet Earth will have undergone many changes. It will be a period in which people spend too much of everything on material things, and by doing so, lose interest in nature. The 22nd century will be a time in which Earth will have experienced many computerized nuclear wars, and for the first time in history, the people of Earth will feel the ultimate nuclear that will bring I can't read this." Then there's 5 or 6 blank pages titled Notes, in case the reader wants to fervently scribble down their thoughts about the mind-bending literary masterwork they just read. The rest of the book is court documents she seems to think prove her case. They don't. So, is The Third Eye the source material from which the Wachowskis and Cameron drew from? No, not even a little. There is one line, however, in which an alien figure says the words, "Watch the heavens, we will be back." A line similar to Arnold's from The Terminator, of course.
I'll be back.
That's it. That's her claim to that franchise. Seriously, she calls it irrefutable proof that James Cameron stole the idea from her. With little to no recourse, Stewart took to social media to bolster her case and show the world how it had been lied to for decades. Her Instagram handle is Mother of the Matrix, and she has over 30,000 followers. She calls herself an author, and the description reads, "Creator/owner of the Matrix and Terminator film franchises. The official copyrights owner of all derivatives films, as ruled by Utah judges in 2014. And that, of course, is nonsense. There's also a link to her website, which redirects to truthaboutmatrix.com, where it's just more nonsense upon more nonsense. She's even attached downloadable PDF documents as proof, but when you go to find them, they're hidden in black text against a black background. Sneaky. If you highlight the area, you can see them listed. And when you do finally open them, it's nothing but scans of documents about her suing her lawyer. Nothing about her winning any case against either filmmakers, studios, or cashing out big time as she claims she did. But that didn't stop her from continuously lying about it every chance she got.
That first default judgment, I won $150 million.
Okay.
But the judge was so racist, the one that I had recused off the case, he said he would give me the money later. The second default judgment, I won $3.5 billion in liens.
It's all bullshit.
Her Instagram and X accounts are basically platforms to hurl insults at Cameron and the Wachowskis on a regular basis. In 2012, Lana Wachowski, formerly Larry, publicly came out as transgender. She made her transition known to the public after the release of Cloud Atlas and the Matrix trilogy. Lily Wachowski, formerly Andy, followed suit and also came out in 2016. Both Lana and Lily have been open about their experience and have become advocates for trans visibility and rights in the entertainment industry and beyond. And here's Miss Stewart's graceful take on that. Sophia Stewart is a complex person to say the least. She's been fighting since the 80s to claim what she thinks is hers. And even though time and again the court of law and of public opinion have slammed the door in her face, she still continues on, seemingly earning somewhat of a living from interviews and guest appearances on minimally viewed platforms. There are even some articles published that echo her claims. So yes, she does have a small group of supporters who thinks Hollywood robbed her. And while her numbers on social media continue to grow, one wonders if it's truly for support or the same reason we can't look away from a car crash.